Hello my dear students, welcome back to Learn Physics. In today's video, we are going to discuss about the chapter Electromagnetic Induction. In this chapter, the deleted portion is there's electromagnetic induction and alternating current. Together when we are considering that chapter, what less current, that topic alone is deleted, rest everything we need to study. Okay, so in this chapter, every topic as such in the previous year syllabus, it is there. Okay, so electromagnetic induction. What is electromagnetic induction? See, about electromagnetic induction, the study is first given by Faraday. Okay, Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction, that is very important. For understanding this Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction, first we need to know what is meant by magnetic flux. Magnetic flux. The number of magnetic field lines per unit area. Magnetic field lines per unit area, that is called as magnetic flux. Magnetic flux is represented by the letter phi. Okay, electric flux we already learned. The same way here magnetic flux, if you want you can write it as phi b over here to mention it as magnetic flux. Okay, number of magnetic field lines per unit area. As the magnetic flux increases, according to that magnetic strength also will be increasing. That and all we learned when we studied about the magnetic field lines, right? So number of magnetic field lines per unit area is called as magnetic flux. Its SI unit is Weber. Weber is its SI unit, representation is WB. The number of magnetic field lines per unit area, that is representation is Weber, and its formula is phi B equals B dot A. Phi B is equal to B dot A. So here BA cos theta, dot product is BA cos theta. Theta will be maximum. See theta, when theta is equal to 90 degree, phi will be equal to 0, and when theta is equal to 0 degree, it will be maximum. Okay, that and all you know. Phi equals B dot A. This is the topic which is related to with this electromagnetic induction. Okay, now we are going to say about the laws of or experiments of Faraday's experiments related with electromagnetic induction. So first, his first experiment was, he took a coil and here a galvanometer is connected. Okay, a galvanometer is connected like this, and we are taking a magnet. It is moving towards the coil. Magnet is, we are moving towards the coil. So magnet has magnetic field lines. Number of magnetic field lines will be there in the magnet. When we are taking that into the coil, okay, so when it is coming nearer to it, what will happen? The number of magnetic field lines crossing this coil will be increasing. You can think, see, we know magnetic field lines are imaginary lines, but when we are assuming this experiment, we can assume that yes, field lines are there. So number of field lines are there. When we are inserting inside that, what will happen? See, initially this one line only will be going inside the coil. Then after that, next line also will be coming. Okay, so this and all our imagination only, this magnetic lines. Okay, next this, when it is going inside the coil, what is happening? We are moving the bar magnet inside the coil. The number of magnetic field lines is increasing. Okay, then you can say, see, a deflection is there in the galvanometer. Okay, when this coil is there inside the, when this magnet is there inside the coil, okay, there is no change in the galvanometer deflection. Galvanometer will be again inside. It is staying there. Magnetic field, magnet is stationary. If we are keeping the magnet stationary, no deflection. When we are moving that towards it, or when we are moving it inside that time it will show a deflection. Okay, then when we are taking that, now it is inside that. No deflection. So because their number of magnetic field lines are in the coil is same, it's not changing. So when we are moving in and out, what will happen? The number of magnetic field lines entering the system and leaving the system is continuously changing, right? So that is called a so that when it is changing, when the number of magnetic field lines in the coil is changing, that time a current will be inducing in the circuit. Okay, and EMF is inducing in the circuit. That EMF is called induced EMF. Okay, so Faraday's first law states that whenever there is a change in magnetic flux linked with the circuit, an EMF is inducing in the circuit. Whenever there is a change in magnetic flux linked with the coil. See, this is the magnet, right? When we are keeping the magnet inside that, when we are trying to moving the magnet towards the coil or taking out the coil from the magnet, an EMF is inducing in the circuit. Because of that, an induced current will be developing over there. Okay, when we are taking out the magnet or putting that inside or keeping it inside, but if it is there inside itself, whether it will show any deflection? No deflection, because number of magnetic field lines are not changing over there. Clear? Now, instead of this, now we here in the first experiment we had taken one this coil and the magnet. Then next experiment, the Faraday took a coil with the magnet, with a galvanometer, and he had taken another coil, current carrying coil. Okay, here a current carrying coil is kept near to the coil which is connected with a galvanometer. A current carrying coil will be acting as a magnet, right? So if we are switching on the magnet and switching off the coil, so this one will be equivalent to a magnet, because a current carrying conductor will be having a magnetic field around it. That one we already learned, right? So here this coil will be acting, current carrying coil will be acting as a magnet, and when we are switching it on, what will happen? This will show a deflection, because the number of magnetic field lines are increasing. It is getting magnetized. Right? So when we are switching off, what will happen? Again the number of magnetic field lines are decreasing, the strength is decreasing. So that time also it will show a deflection. Instead of that, we are switching on here itself and will be moving the coil front and back. What will happen? That time also the number of magnetic field lines crossing this line is changing. Right? So here we can see the magnetic flux linked with the circuit changes, and EMF is inducing in the circuit. That is Faraday's first law. Okay, whenever there is a change in magnetic flux, if there is a change in magnetic flux linked with the circuit, then what will happen? An EMF will be inducing in the circuit. Okay, this is Faraday's first law. Now, how much will be this magnetic field? EMF. EMF will be, the second law states that EMF induced in the circuit will be directly proportional to the rate of change of magnetic flux. Okay, it is directly proportional to the rate of change of magnetic flux, and it is represented with a negative sign. E is proportional to minus d phi by dt. That is, EMF induced is directly proportional to the rate of change of magnetic flux linked with the circuit, and which is negative inside. While we are representing it mathematically, we will represent it as E is proportional to minus d phi by dt. This negative sign shows that, see, EMF induced EMF will be always opposing the production. What is the cause of its production? Change in magnetic flux. It won't allow the magnetic flux to change. It will always oppose that. Clear? So, see here for us, suppose for us, if we are considering somebody, if they are controlling us from outside, we won't like it, right? So, we will be increasing and decreasing according to see our value is increasing, decreasing according to others. Somebody is operating us from here and there, that one we don't like. The same way here, EMF is inducing in the circuit in between. So, always it will be trying to oppose that. Oppose the production of EMF, induced EMF. Okay, so that is called this Faraday's second law of electromagnetic induction. Okay, Faraday's second law. The EMF induced is directly proportional to the rate of change of magnetic flux. That is, E is proportional to minus d phi by dt. This negative sign shows that it is opposite in direction. Clear, children, these two laws? So now we told about the reason for that negative sign, right? E is equal to minus d phi by dt. This negative sign indicates that it is always opposing the cause for that change in magnetic flux. So this is given by, this explanation is given by Lenz's law. Next, we are going to study what is Lenz's law. The induced EMF will always oppose the cause for its production. So, what is the cause of the production of induced EMF? Change in magnetic flux. So, it won't allow the magnetic flux to change. That is Lenz's law. Here, I am taking a coil here. Okay, here a magnet is there. This is north, south. I am trying to keep the magnet inside the coil. So what will happen? An EMF will be induced in the circuit. What will be the? It will be that induced EMF will be always opposing the cause for it. What is the cause for it? Moving towards the coil. That is the cause, right? So towards the coil it is moving. So the coil wants to take it away from the coil. Which one? The coil wants to take the magnet away from it. Then only it won't give a EMF over here. Okay. If this should move away, what should be the polarity of this magnetic polarity of the coil? The polarity of the coil should be north pole. Right. Then only north and north will be repelling. This is coming towards it. So it wants to oppose. Oppose means here north pole should be developed. If a north pole is developing over here, what will be the direction of current? It will be in the anti-clockwise direction. Induced EMF or induced current will be in the anti-clockwise direction. That is Lenz's law. Clear? So, as per Lenz's law, the induced EMF will be always opposes the cause for its production. That is Lenz's law. So, this one can be explained in such a manner. So, if we are taking it away, so same way. So, this is coming towards the coil, and the same way a coil is here, and this is the magnet, and this magnet we are taking it away. That time also what will happen? Yes, an EMF will be inducing in it. Then the coil will think, if the magnet is near to me, I won't be getting again EMF, induced EMF won't be coming to me. So what will happen? It won't leave. It don't want to leave the magnet away from it. So it will try to attract along with it. That means it will be developing a south pole over here. Okay, south pole means what will be the direction? Direction will be in the clockwise direction. Okay, this is how current will be, this is how we will be finding out the direction of current. Okay, and then this Lenz's law is closely associated with our energy conservation. Okay, so how we can explain that Lenz's law with the energy conservation? Yeah, when we are moving the magnet towards it, we are doing some work. Right? So it is moving the magnet towards it. We are doing some work. Work means it's energy. Work energy theorem. So the work done will be converting as energy over here. Okay. So it is energy which is moving through it. So energy is produced. That energy will be converting as electrical energy. So energy. So how much is the work done? According to that, energy will be induced, EMF will be developing over there. Okay, so how we can increase or decrease, can we increase or decrease this induced EMF? Yes, we can increase and decrease the EMF by increasing the strength of the magnet. Magnetic strength can be increased. Strength of magnet can be increased, or we can increase the speed. So how much speed we are giving to for the movement of the coil or the magnet. Okay, see, it's not compulsory always we should move the coil, this magnet. We can move the coil also. That time if we are taking the coil and keeping it near to the magnet and away from the magnet, that time also inside the coil magnetic flux linked with the circuit is changing, right? So EMF will be inducing. So number of turns of the coil we can vary. If we are increasing or decreasing the number of turns of the coil, again that will be causing an EMF change. Okay, induced EMF will be changing over there. Okay, so we can increase the speed of the coil, or we can increase the strength of the magnet. We can increase the strength of the current. If strength of the current is increasing, obviously magnetic strength also will be increasing, and we can move the speed. We can vary the speed. Okay, in many ways we can change the EMF. Okay, induced EMF, value of induced EMF will be changing. Clear? So children, that's all for today. So I hope it is clear for you, and in next class we'll be continuing with our this eddy current and motional EMF. Okay, so if you like the video, please don't forget to subscribe, like and share. Thank you for watching. Bye.